Dean Smith, sir, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
I'm okay. It's close to midnight here, but well worth the wait to chat to you. I have to be honest. Really looking forward to this.
Thank you.
How's it been for you, and in particular, all your boys, all the players, considering it's been such a long break by Premier League standards since you last kicked a football?
Yeah, I mean, we've forgot what normality feels or looks like, but it feels like we've gone back to, a normal season where, you don't play for 10 days. So we were disappointed that the game got postponed because obviously we wanted to put the result right after the West Ham game, where we felt we performed very well and deserved certainly more from the game. But needs must, and Newcastle had their COVID problems, and the right decision was made to postpone it. What it has given us is the opportunity to do some more coaching on the training ground, because I think the amount of games in a short space of time we've had, a lot of it has been about recovering rather than coaching and training.
Is that probably a blessing in disguise with the festive period just around the corner? You're going to be playing every 2.5 days, give or take, and some of your players like Jack Grealish are the most fouled in the league. So probably welcome respite for his legs.
Yeah, I think we probably needed it as a club. We've had a number of players out on international duty as well. Jack Grealish, obviously, Tyrone Mings being a couple with England, John McGinn's played in the playoffs for Scotland, Conor Hurahan for Ireland. So we've had a number of players away playing for their respective countries, and that's added to the the amount of game time they've got in their legs. So it's come at a time where we can manage their loads a little bit better, but we know that the games are going to come thick and fast, and somewhere along the line we're going to have to catch up with the others as well.
Well, that's the thing. I've asked this question to some pundits before. Now, you currently sit on 9 games played, so it's 2 less than most other sides, 1 less than a few other teams. Do you prefer playing your games firsthand, or do you prefer having that game in hand, or in your case, 2 games in hand?
No, I'd prefer to be on 11 now if I could. Unfortunately, for reasons that Manchester City went quite far in the Champions League, so you understand the reasons, and then obviously the COVID problems with Newcastle. So we're going to have to play catch up, and the game's going to come soon, but we're not sure when they will be rearranged for. But we'll look forward to them when they come.
What are your targets that you set for Aston Villa and maybe yourself this season?
Well, I think we looked at last season and we weren't satisfied with finishing 17th. We'd had to make a lot of changes when we got promoted. Thankfully we've got really good owners who helped us bring in 12 new players, but it's a lot of players to bring in your first year in the Premier League, and we had to go and survive. We managed to survive, and then we could add quality to that number, and we feel that we've recruited real good quality this season, and by doing that second season in the Premier League gives you that opportunity to go and improve. So our ambition is to see if we can become a top half team in the Premier League.
It's pretty frank that your new signings, Barkley, Martinez, have really taken to playing for Aston Villa. But I look at your current run of form as being very good, starting in Project Restart, not even this season. Was there anything different that you did that led to the survival? And now, well, if you win your 2 games in hand, you're level on points of Leicester, who are in 4th position.
Yeah, well, we looked at the season. We got an opportunity because of lockdown to refocus and evaluate where we were. We were conceding too many big chances. We'd conceded a lot of goals, and we wanted to be harder to beat. We had to be fitter to go and do that. But we came into Project Restart and we're harder to beat. Our defensive record was a lot better after that, and we've continued that into this season. What we've done is added quality players. That defensive work starts from the front, and we couldn't have got anybody better in than Ollie Watkins, who works tirelessly from the front defensively without the ball, but he's also a very good goal scorer as well. So a very good acquisition for us.
When it comes to Premier League football, the world's eyes are on you. Everyone's listening to every word you say post-match, before the game, during the week, press conferences. It's a big step up in that sense from the Championship, although the football is just as competitive. But what are the biggest lessons that you learnt during your maiden season in the highest division in English football.
And I think it was that fact that we had to become harder to beat and not so open. The quality of the players and the teams within this league, if you end up open, they will score. You know, the quality of the front players in this league is second to none. So we had to be a little bit more pragmatic in our play, certainly at the end of last season. What the added quality has enabled us to be is, while we're still defensively solid, you know, we've got the likes of Barkley, Grealish, Watkins now, who can go and hurt any team in this league, as was proven against Liverpool.
Well, I'm sure it helps having individuals that have played in the top flight, some of them in your squad, but probably none more so than the backroom staff member, John Terry, who's been there, done it all. How influential was he and invaluable as someone by your side?
Yeah, he's been invaluable. He's been a really good member of the coaching team, very knowledgeable about the Premier League and, you know, the experiences that he has had. You know, he's won the title, lifted title 4 or 5 times, I think, with Chelsea. You know, he's a winner through and through. So having him alongside us has been very helpful. And added to that, we've now brought in Craig Shakespeare as well, who won the league as an assistant manager with Leicester. So, you know, amongst our coaching staff, we've got a number of titles.
Yeah. In fact, there's someone on your staff who managed and played in Malaysia, George Boateng. So
yeah,
something else as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got a friend. I keep in touch with Malaysian football anyway. I've got a friend over in Sabah, Scott
Olorenshaw,
yeah,
from Walsall.
Yeah, so Scotty keeps me in touch. We played together at Walsall for years.
I'll tell him you say hello. He was messaging me just the other week, oddly enough.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy, Scotty.
Yeah, it's he's not so ginger now. He doesn't.
I know he's not.
I hope you got John Terry a nice birthday present, by the way.
Yes, I certainly did, and hopefully won't keep him at home too long as well. So we got him a bit of an old school tabletop games machine with Pac-Man and Space Invaders on. So hopefully he'll be enjoying that.
Did you?
We certainly did, yeah.
I bought one for myself, and my wife is making me throw it out. She says it's taking up too much space.
Well, he said already he enjoyed it, playing the old school football and just hearing the old, you know, the noise when you hit the ball.
Yeah. Oh, one day, if I'm lucky enough, I'll pop by his house and give him a game. Looking at Aston Villa as well, I know you're mentioning harder to beat, but you seem so much more adventurous as well. It's a real joy to watch.
Yeah, I think that, again, the players that we've got at the football club now, they're a year older, a year wiser of Premier League football. You know, so they've smartened up streetwise. They've become more streetwise, and you know, we want to go and create. We have a certain style of play, but we also want to not concede goals. So, you know, getting that balance is really important. But you just look at the players we've got. I think Jack is now playing to a level that only few can play at in the Premier League. And you know, Ross has added to Jack. Ollie has certainly added to them as well. And you know, when you've got players like that, it just you know, it makes your job as a manager a lot easier.
Was the best bit of business, though, keeping Jack Grealish? I mean, it must be hard dealing with the constant speculation about him during the summer. It must be a frustration for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've built up a very good relationship over my 2 years at Aston Villa with Jack, and you know, we know each other inside and out. And you know, he wanted to progress. He wanted to be, you know, progress as a footballer first and foremost at Villa. It's his team. You know, he grew up an Aston Villa fan. He's been here a long time. You know, so I always had that feeling that, you know, he didn't want to leave. He wanted to, you know, continue the journey of being progressive with the football club. You know, if we don't keep progressing and become a club that's, you know, challenging in Europe, then, you know, we probably won't meet Jack's ambitions, and there'll be a time where Jack looks elsewhere then. But at the moment, he can see the progression at the football club, and he wants to be part of that.
Does it help? And I asked this to Steve Bruce recently, that you can manage your boyhood club. Your late father was a steward at Villa Park, I believe. It seems to be in your blood. Is this your dream job for you?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, listen, It's a club that I've got a massive affinity for. You mentioned my dad, all my family and friends, Aston Villa fans as well. I grew up, you know, claret and blue as well. The hardest part now is the losses feel even worse, you know, because you feel the pressure from the friends and family as well. But I wouldn't swap it for anything. It's an absolute joy and pleasure at the moment. You know, the only thing missing at the moment is our supporters who, if they were there to watch that Liverpool victory, you know, would be talking about that for the next 40, 50 years.
No, we still couldn't get over it. Such an unbelievable result. Final few things. How do you unwind away from football? I know that you like walking your dog Charlie. Nice long countryside walks and all that. But is there anything else? Do you like putting something on the TV?
Yeah, I like a bit of golf, you know, and going out with the wife, you know, for the meal. I think that's my relaxation time. When I leave the football club and get home, I leave football behind. The most important thing, I always say this to anybody, is our families. And although it's a stressful job, I need to make sure that I give enough time to my wife and kids.
Well, it's obviously working because you've got more hair than Scott Laurenshaw.
That doesn't take a lot.
That's true as well.